Alright, so here we are on the road to WrestleMania, coming to you straight after Raw on March 10th, 2014. The Raw started off with Hulk Hogan hitting the ring, of course. It's been teased and announced that Hogan had a major WWE WrestleMania 30 announcement to make tonight. I think we were all hoping that he would not announce that he was going to be competing at WrestleMania. The announcement was fairly interesting to me, if you ask me. He came out and he started talking about how he plugged the network, obviously talking about how he's gone back and watched all of his WrestleMania matches and everything. And the one that sticks out to him is the Andre the Giant match, which obviously sticks out to all of us. So to commemorate Andre the Giant's legacy, this year there will be a 30-man WWE Superstar Battle Royal. I can't remember what exactly it was called. I believe it was the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. As soon as he announced that, John Cena came out and said he wanted to be the first man to put his name in the hat, because he would be honored. And immediately, Bray Wyatt, the Wyatts, come out, interrupt Cena and Hogan, and we see a standoff and a fight break out. Initially, it was supposed to be Cena and Luke Harper in the main event tonight, but seeing as how Cena ended up fighting Eric Rowan after the commercial break, it wouldn't make any sense to have Cena and Harper in the main event. So far, Big E and Ryback have been confirmed for the Battle Royal. Should be interesting, two big guys. At least it's not another gimmick Battle Royal, even though those are fun. We're at WrestleMania 30, should be taken pretty seriously, and this is a cool event to put in. The Andre the Giant trophy looks pretty cool, I think. There's no reason to be skeptical of and critical of everything. This is a cool concept. WrestleMania 30, 30th anniversary of WrestleMania 1. Andre the Giant, one of the most notorious and prolific and iconic wrestlers in WWE history, opened the door for guys like The Big Show, The Great Khali, hell, even The Undertaker and Kane, even, because those are big guys. He should be remembered. So up to this point, great. It's been not a great Raw, but it's been good. After that, Cena beats Rowan. Of course, we're not going to have John Cena lose in the opening match of Raw. Why would we want to do that? Next up, we got the Usos against Curtis Axel and Ryback. Rybaxel. Still a completely stupid tag team name, but whatever. We got the New Age Outlaws doing commentary with Cole, JBL Cole, and Jerry Lawler. Of course, anytime you got the Usos in a match, it's gonna be fun to watch. I mean, there's a reason they put the tag titles on those guys. I mean, they've got the biggest pop of all the tag teams right now. It makes sense. After the Usos win that match, which is nothing new and nothing special, it's a typical Usos match. We go back and we see Kane talking to the Shield, telling them, that him and the Authority are disappointed because the Shield aired their dirty laundry in front of the world on SmackDown, and how the Shield has been a valuable asset in the past, but the crack started when the Shield, Reigns, and Rollins lost the tag titles to the Brotherhood last year, in which, obviously the Shield's going to retaliate, and they ask Kane if this is a way for Kane to forget about losing to Daniel Bryan twice last week. Kane says he's giving them an opportunity to step it up tonight. Ambrose says they will, and they will exercise their demons. Says that they're able to exercise any demons possible stab at Kane, and he better believe that. Next, we got Big E versus Jack Swagger. Big E wins. More teasing of the Real Americans breakup. It's coming. It's going to be at WrestleMania. Let's face it. Which, I mean, I've never liked that tag team in the first place. I think it's a stupid concept and a stupid idea. And it's not even executed very well. As I said in previous podcasts, Cesaro's not even an American. So, right there, just automatically is thrown out the window. Back on Raw, we're at the top of the hour. We're at the 9 o'clock hour. The Undertaker, the Phenom, comes out. Before he can say anything, which, by the way, all signs are pointing to this being the Lord of Darkness Undertaker. The real Lord of Darkness Undertaker, not the one with the hat and all that. We're talking the robe. You know, he's got the long black goatee. If he still had hair, it'd be legit. I mean, he looks good, and it looks like he is the Attitude Era Undertaker right now. I could be wrong, but that's what it's looking like. Before he can get anything out of his mouth, before he can say one single sentence, Paul Heyman interrupts him, talking about how he doesn't stand a chance against Brock Lesnar, how nobody's ever won more than... You know, Shawn Michaels couldn't win more than 2 WrestleMania matches in a row. Triple H got to 2, but never 3. Hogan got to 3, never 4. Austin got to 4, never 5. Same can be said for Cena, blah, 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 blah. Who gives a fuck? Says that Taker's had 21 straight wins. He says it's a myth. He said that when a myth becomes a legend, according, referring to The Undertaker, says Heyman better not, Taker better not step into the ring with Brock Lesnar, because Lesnar's he's gonna end the streak. It's gonna be over. He's gonna be conquered by Lesnar and all that. Taker tells Heyman to take a message back to Lesnar, and basically, to quote The Undertaker, he says, "The fear of death is worse than death itself. The fear of the unknown is the greatest fear of all." He tells Heyman to tell Lesnar that if he shows up in New Orleans, he will rest in peace. Again, very reminiscent of the 90s Attitude Undertaker, which I personally never got to see because I was watching WCW, and it would be awesome to be able to see one last Attitude Era Undertaker step into the ring one more time and cut a couple of awesome promos. They may be able to finally get away with it. Their contract with USA is up after, within a couple months anyway, so why not push the envelope as far as you can? Next, we got Reigns and Rollins against the Brotherhood. Solid match. These two teams always put on a good match. They work very well together. They have great chemistry. And anytime you got the Shield in the ring, it's going to be a fun match to watch. It's going to be powerful. It's going to be intense. Rollins and Reigns win the match after Rollins curb stomps Cody Rhodes. Oh, awesome. Next, we got AJ and Tamina versus the Bella Twins. Bella Twins win. Not a great Divas match. Especially not so much after watching the Gail Kim Madison Rain match on Lockdown last night with TNA. Never thought I'd say that. But that was a good match last night. This one, not so much. After the match, Nikki Bella posed with the Divas title. Natalya came up to the apron because she was doing commentary. By the way, Natalya is going to be facing AJ for the Divas title at main event Tuesday night. Who cares? After this, we got by far the best segment of the night. Honestly, the best segment in months. Daniel Bryan comes down to the ring. He obviously going to be a huge pop from the crowd. Says Yes Movement's alive and well in Memphis tonight. Basically says that he's gonna occupy Raw. The Yes Movement is going to occupy Raw. They are not leaving until Triple H comes down and gives him what he wants. He says if Triple H wants to be all corporate, that's fine. But if he wants to lay his hands on him, he isn't going to back down. He's going to fight. He said if he wants, if Triple H and Stephanie want Daniel Bryan to apologize, like they mentioned earlier in the night, Triple H and Stephanie came out and said that, everything Daniel Bryan has done lately is grounds for immediate termination, but they would take the high road and apologize to Daniel Bryan if he apologized to them. Obviously, that's not going to happen. I mean, come on, were they high on crack? China must be sitting on them or something. Bryan is not leaving the ring until he gets what he wants. A match with Triple H at WrestleMania. And he says he isn't alone. He's not leaving the ring, and he is willing to fill the entire arena with the Yes Movement. He says he's talked to some members of the Yes Movement, and he wants them to come down. This is when the ring fills with people in Daniel Bryan shirts as it goes to commercial. The dude brings a shit ton of fans into the ring and ringside area. It had to have been close to 80. I mean, it was insane. As we come back, I mean, they really made it look like it wasn't planned. It wasn't scripted. It really made it look like they were cutting him off in mid-sentence. After we get back from commercial break, the entire ring and the entire ringside area is completely filled with people in Daniel Bryan shirts. Bryan says that Triple H cannot ignore him now. Stephanie come to the stage. They are fucking fuming. Triple H pokes at the fans, says the trolls that live under the bridge are very happy for him. He says he really is now going to reality. He says reality is really going to set in now. That everybody has about 30 seconds before they're arrested and escorted off the property. Says the time's up. Calls out security. 2 security guards come out. Daniel Bryan cuts all of them off and says that everyone in the arena should go out to the parking lot and they can do their yes movement there, and Triple H can put on Raw to an empty arena. 2 security guards walk down towards the people, and obviously Daniel Bryan's like, oh, look, here comes all 2 of them. All 100 people in the ring are yesing and yesing and yesing. I think that's how you say it. I think that's what we'll call it. We'll call it yesing. Fuck Tebowing. This is yesing. Since security can't do anything, there's 2 of them, there's 100 people, plus Daniel Bryan. Security turns their back on the fans and walk back up to the ring, or back up to the stage. They say there's nothing we can do, so Triple H tells the sound guy to go ahead and hit the music, and the show is going to go on, and the next match should start. Damien Sandow comes out for his supposed match that obviously never happens. Bryan tells Sandow to come on into the ring and join the Yes movement. Sandow walks back up the ramp. Triple H walks out, stops him. Stephanie tells Bryan not to disrespect her family name, and tells Sandow not to disrespect her husband and get back into the ring. Sandow's like, what the fuck do you want me to do? The ring's fucking full of people. She's at this point just absolutely screaming at Bryan, and how, last week Bryan has said that this ring is his and the people's, and she's screaming that she does own Bryan, she does own the people, she does own the ring. And when she was born, everything became hers. She is screaming. Triple H, tells her to calm down and pushes her back and everything. And Bryan says some more things to call out Triple H. Finally, Triple H turns around. He is livid and says that Bryan, says that he's been trying to protect Bryan this whole time, and Bryan trying to protect him from everything that would happen to him if he became successful. Triple H asks him if he wants to fight him at WrestleMania. Obviously, he says, you're on. Daniel Bryan is going to face Triple H at WrestleMania now. And he's like, you're on. Everyone get out of the ring. Bryan stops him and says that's not all he wanted. Daniel Bryan says that what the people really want is for him to fight for the title. And he says that if he beats Triple H at WrestleMania, he gets added to the title match. The main event will be Randy Orton versus Batista versus Daniel Bryan. Triple H snaps at this point and runs at the ring, charges, security grabs him and carries him up the ramp and backstage. At this whole time, Triple H is screaming that he's got it, he's got his match, he's got his stipulations, he's got his grounds, all that fun stuff. This was by far one of the best segments and promos, obviously, of the year, and probably last year, to be completely honest. This, and when John Cena called out Randy Orton before the Raw, before TLC, for the unification, when the ring was full of former champions, that was one of the best promos of that year. This is one of the best promos of this year and last year combined. I mean, it was absolutely awesome to watch. Very reminiscent of the Austin McMahon feud and all of that. It it was awesome to see. Next up, we got Christian versus Sheamus in a Memphis street fight that the fans voted on in this match. Oh man, this match was slow in the beginning, but then it escalated. It got good. In the match, Sheamus wins by brogue kicking Christian through a bass drum. Come on, that's awesome. It's almost like they were watching Lockdown last night and felt like they had to step it up, because there were some awesome hardcore matches last night on Lockdown. What a coincidence. Memphis Street Fight. Awesome moves in this one too. Either that or they've all got the same writers. Next up, we got the Big Show, Daniel Bryan versus Batista and Randy Orton, which originally was intriguing because Orton and Batista are fighting each other at Mania for the title. Now we've got all three potential participants of a title match at Mania on the Raw main event. Also, it's Daniel Bryan versus most of Evolution. Going into this match, I wasn't sure how they were going to pull this off and make it interesting, because, I mean, the match started at like 11 o'clock and Raw goes till 11:05. Nonetheless, it was a good match, back and forth. They packed a lot of action into a 5-6 minute match. Your typical Daniel Bryan match, your typical Daniel Bryan Orton match. Same moves as always. It wasn't horribly exciting, but it was a good end to Raw. Obviously, you know, the match is going to end with Batista getting thrown out of the ring at Big Show. And, Orton going for the RKO on Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan turning around, reversing it into a backslide. Orton kicking out. Then Daniel Bryan hitting the running knee on Randy Orton for the win. Winner Daniel Bryan, the Biggest Show. Raw goes off the air as Daniel Bryan is celebrating with the WWE Universe. My overall thoughts on Raw. Great Raw. One of the better Raws they've had lately. I'm not gonna lie, I think WWE is at a point where they have to put on a good Raw, they have to put on a good SmackDown if they're gonna keep their fans and keep the WWE Universe intrigued and interested. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but like I said last night, TNA put on a great Lockdown pay-per-view, and they had to, because WWE is lacking right now. Both of them are. Both of them are in pretty bad spots. Creative isn't doing much. Triple H isn't doing much with what the WWE Universe wants. Granted, we can be patient, but we can't be patient forever. And I think that WWE Creative and Triple H and Vince and all of the writers, they know that the fans, we're losing patience, we're losing interest, and we're just that much closer to completely giving up on everything, because we've been fed the same thing month after month. Every pay-per-view is the same thing. Daniel Bryan gets a title shot. He looks like he's going to win, and they find a new way to screw him over and fuck him out of the title. Even when he wins the title, they find a way to reverse it and take it from him. The YES movement is growing. The fact that it's on ESPN and college basketball and all these sports channels and everywhere is undeniable. And they would be stupid to not notice that and not do something with it. It's normal to keep an underdog down for a little bit and then give him a huge push. But they've been keeping the underdog down and not pushing him for way too long. Fans are seriously ready to give up and probably switch to Ring of Honor and TNA. And that's saying a lot, because TNA Lockdown had less than 2,000 fans in attendance last night. But, I mean, they have to do something, and I think that tonight's Raw was a hopefully sign of good things to come from WWE. The rumors have all been true with WrestleMania rumored matches and all that good stuff, which is good, because originally we just had Bray Wyatt and John Cena, then Randy Orton, Batista. Nobody really wanted to see any of those matches, and now, you know, we've got some intriguing, interesting things going into WrestleMania, and there's still over 25 days to go. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens on SmackDown and main event. But sound off in the comments and let me know what you thought of Raw tonight and what you think of where WWE is headed right now. Do you think it's going in the right direction, or do you think this is just a tease like everything else? Sound off. Let me know what you think. We'll see you next week.